Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and are done wrong. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Officer Washington with the St. Louis County Police Department's Public Information Office. This critical incident briefing is intended to provide you with information about an officer-involved shooting involving an officer from the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department that occurred on March 3, 2023, near the intersection of McLaren Avenue and Main Street in the City of Jennings precinct. As part of our commitment to transparency, we will show you relevant video footage, evidence, and the law enforcement response to this incident. Because this investigation is still active, our goal is to provide you with a better understanding of what occurred based on what we know up to this point. The St. Louis County Police Department conducts thorough use of force investigations, which typically require detectives to interview multiple witnesses, view numerous hours of video footage, and analyze a significant amount of forensic evidence. This portrayal is not intended to draw any conclusions about whether the officers involved acted consistent with their department's policies and the law until all the facts are known and the investigation is finalized. Investigations involving uses of force could take several months to complete. A word of caution: the images you're about to see may be disturbing and you may hear strong or coarse language. When a police officer uses force to arrest a suspect or to defend themselves or innocent victims against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
I'm Sergeant Tracy Panis, Public Information Supervisor for the St. Louis County Police Department. On Friday, March 3rd, 2023, at approximately 10:38 p.m., police officers assigned to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department's Special Weapons and Tactics Unit, commonly referred to as SWAT, were conducting a patrol on Riverview Boulevard in the Baden neighborhood when they observed a 2019 Kia Stinger being operated in an erratic manner. When officers attempted to make a traffic stop, the driver fled. A Metro Air Support Unit police helicopter was overhead at the time of the incident. The flight crew monitored the path of the suspect's vehicle and announced its location to SWAT officers. A vehicle pursuit was not initiated at this time, but SWAT officers followed the directions provided by the flight crew at a safe distance. Several minutes later, the driver stopped near an apartment building at the intersection of Rosalie Street and Kings Highway Boulevard in the city of St. Louis. SWAT officers responded to the area. At approximately 10:42 p.m., the suspect left the area, at which time a tire deflation device was deployed by a SWAT officer. The deployment was successful. A second SWAT officer activated his emergency lights and siren in another attempt to initiate a traffic stop. The driver refused to comply, violated a traffic signal, and fled west on West Florissant at a high rate of speed. A tactical pursuit was initiated by SWAT officers. At approximately 10:45 p.m., the suspect vehicle left the roadway at McLaren and Main Street in the city of Jennings and attempted to drive parallel to a set of railroad tracks. The vehicle was rendered inoperable, and the suspect ran from the car armed with a firearm. SWAT officers pursued the suspect on foot. While running, the SWAT officer gave the suspect repeated verbal commands to freeze and drop it. The suspect failed to comply. Instead, he turned and pointed the weapon at the officer. The SWAT officer fired his department-issued weapon, striking the suspect. He was taken into custody, and officers rendered life-saving medical treatment to the suspect. He was transported to an area hospital for further treatment.
Greg, AK5, taking off southbound Halls Ferry. Schweitzer, couple blocks ahead, he's taking off now. Up to West Florissant.
Yeah, we're with you. Head towards West Florissant.
Still moving, it's passing on this guy on the left or right.
Yeah, it's coming up to Florissant now. Get all the way over in the left lane, flicker on to go eastbound Florissant. Making the turn, eastbound West Florissant. It did slow down a little bit for a second, but he's picking it back up. Around Gilmore, eastbound. Around Clover. Slowing down, brakes, getting east. Egypt, still eastbound Florissant. Almost to Calvary. Calvary 9, 50 eastbound. Highway, still east. Got a blinker on the turn, southbound. 1 block east of East Highway. And he's blacked out, guys. So he's southbound on, I can't get it straight or west. And it's going to be back westbound towards Kings Highway on Ashton. Yeah, well, SWAT car on Kings Highway, that street off your left there, and then you can't get through right there. He'll be popping out at the end there. He's about mid-block, heading westbound. And he is blacked out, so still coming. Pulling over to the north curve. Actually, he's just avoiding the speed bump there. That car, stay behind that building so he doesn't see you. Okay, about 2 houses from the corner, and he's parking. We're going to line him up, see if he moves for you. Still sitting there, we got him lit up, no change. And he's pulling off, get ready.
Spike, good spike.
Alright, back westbound on Force. Alright, westbound towards Calvary. It's going to be continuing west through Calvary.
Roseman Kings Highway, keep working. I'm good. I gotta fuck with these spikes here. I'm messing with these spikes anyway.
Alright, he's still westbound through, like Thrush or Ren now. Picking it back up. Almost a Riverview. Car smoking, looks like. Yeah, smoking pretty good.
He slowed down a lot. Tires going down.
Is it Riverview? Still westbound. Approaching Park Lane. Passing the BP, still westbound. Alright, approaching Goodfellow. Alright, through Goodfellow, still west. Alright, approaching Hamilton. Heading towards Jennings Station, gonna come up over there. Alright, through Jennings Station, still westbound. Slowing down quite a bit here. On the north curve. Alright, he's pulling over. Actually, he's gonna make that northbound turn. Looks like Main Street. This T's up here, guys. Be careful, he may not be able to make that turn. Alright, he's gonna be westbound on still Main Street there. Anybody still coming, he's heading towards McLaren. Alright, he's almost to McLaren at the tracks. He's gonna turn actually down the train tracks, maybe. If anybody can get off of Lucas and Hunt, that would be great. He's bailing right here.
Rifle, he's gotta run.
Alright, we got him running westbound. Westbound and southbound, guys. Be careful. He's got a rifle. He looks like he tossed the rifle back westbound on the tracks.
Shot fire! Shot fire! Shot fire! I'm taking him into custody on the tracks. The rest of the car is clear. Rest of shots fired. Stand by.
Dispatcher, send some cars. Lucas and Hunt, McLaren.
Clear. Start EMS this way. We have a black male. Conscious and breathing.
You are about to view relevant dash camera video from the St. Louis Metropolitan Police SWAT officer in reference to the incident.
Body-worn cameras used by the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department have a 30-second buffer of video without audio. Upon activation, the camera goes back 30 seconds and begins recording. This feature is designed to capture incidents that occur suddenly where an officer does not immediately activate the camera. The cameras are worn at chest level by most officers assigned to the Division of Community Policing and the Bureau of Specialized Enforcement. They capture a general perspective from that angle. Available lighting, movement, distance, and other factors can affect clarity and picture quality. The following body-worn camera videos are of relevant footage directly related to this incident.
They got them lit up.
Yeah.
Right, is that something that's it?
Yeah. He's gonna spike it. Fuck. Careful.
Oh, they were waiting on us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got him?
Spike, it's spike.
There we go.
Alright, westbound Force.
Good, clear. Like a key is finger.
Alright, westbound towards Calvary.
See how you can see here. Yep.
There it is. Sure, he's spiked.
Roseman Kings Highway, keep working. I'm good. I gotta fuck with these spikes here. Messing with these spikes
Beat up and look at it.
Alright, still westbound through, like Rush or Red now. Taking it back up. Almost to Riverview.
Yeah. I don't know if it was Spike.
I'll go get car smoking, looks like.
Okay, maybe it is.
Pretty good.
Bucket hydroplane.
Riverview.
Hey, Mitch, remember to unlock my door, right?
Yep.
Still westbound. Approaching Parkway. It's the BT, still westbound. Approaching Goodfellas.
That's fine, so.
Alright.
Alright, you're Goodfellas, still west.
Alright, I can see him.
We're left, we're right.
Approaching
I can smell it.
Yeah.
Smell it.
Yeah, go. Good on our camps. Tomorrow. Yeah. But he's definitely helping.
station. Alright, you're Gathing station, still west. Slowing down.
Remember how we do a vehicle assault?
You're ready. Doors unlocked.
Not pulling over. He might bail out though, with all these houses around so bad.
This is a dead end.
Turn left.
Oh, you got a fucking alley.
Westbound on Still Main Street. Anybody still coming heading towards Claire? He's almost on the Claire at the tracks.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna turn actually down the train tracks.
Holy shit.
If anybody can get up and look at some time, that would be great.
Alright, he's back.
He's gonna turn actually down the train tracks. If anybody can get out and look at some time, that would be great.
He's got a rifle! He's got a rifle!
Yeah, we got it. That's fine.
Freeze! Freeze!
Careful.
Drop it!
On track.
Freeze! 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 Stop, motherfucker! Stop! Get on the ground, bitch! Get on the ground! I'm covering. Put handcuffs on him. I got him. Hands on your back. We're taking him into custody. Somebody check that car. Be advised, shots were fired. The suspect is injured.
Starting in this way with a black male. Conscious breathing.
If anybody can get out and look at some time, that would be great.
Stand up, stand up. Hands on your side!
I got him. I got him.
Car's clear.
Hands on your back.
Shots fired. Stand by.
Somebody check that car.
Dispatcher says cars within unclear.
Starting your bus this way with a black male. Conscious and breathing.
The suspect, now identified as Sean Gathing, 19, of the 3600 block of Ave de Paris Drive in the city of Florissant, Missouri, was charged with first-degree assault of a special victim, armed criminal action, and resisting a lawful arrest, stop, or detention. Charges are merely an accusation, and defendants are presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty in a court of law. At the time of this report, Mr. Gathing is in custody and remains hospitalized. In total, the pursuit lasted approximately 3 minutes. A Kel-Tec pistol, chambered in 5.56 millimeter rifle rounds, attributed to Mr. Gathing, was located along the railroad tracks on the scene. The weapon contained 38 rounds of ammunition. In total, 7 shots were fired by law enforcement. At this time, it does not appear that Mr. Gathing's weapon was fired during the encounter. The St. Louis Metropolitan Police officer involved in this incident is 40 years of age with 11 years of law enforcement experience. No officers were injured during the course of this incident.
The St. Louis County Police Department has all of its non-sensitive policies and procedures available on our website, www.stlouiscounty.
Non-sensitive policies. Whatever the hell that means.
Investigation is still active.
Okay, so I don't routinely talk about how videos are done, but I sometimes do. And I've talked about this particular agency before and this particular officer before in the past, but it's been a while, I think, since I've seen or done one of their videos. So he is the example of what a good spokesperson is. Like, he is great at this public information role as far as talking in front of a camera. He is like the fucking Morgan Freeman of police public information officers. Like, he just has a great voice and appearance, and he is the example of who you want in front of a camera talking.
I'm Sergeant Tracy Panis, Public Information Supervisor for the St. Louis County Police Department. On Friday, March 3rd, 2023, at approximately 10:38 p.m., police officers assigned to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department's Special Weapons and Tactics Unit, commonly referred to as SWAT, were conducting a patrol on Riverview Boulevard in the Baden neighborhood when they observed a 2019 Kia Stinger being operated in an erratic manner.
So a SWAT team on patrol. That I don't know, that sounds odd. Like, what are they just doing patrol for? Like, are they that short staffed? Are they having like the SWAT team get together to go out on patrols? Are they doing some more specialized, focused kind of patrol? And if anything, I think that is most likely the case. They are probably in a particular area that has a very high crime rate, and their purpose is to deal with the violence. Stop cars, stop people, find the violent people, get the guns and the drugs, right? So I'm assuming that's probably why a SWAT team is out on patrol. Otherwise, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Other than, if they're short-staffed and they need to have the SWAT team going out doing patrol. And that is if that agency has something of like a full-time SWAT team that operates like a fire department or ambulance service, where they just normally stay at the station and only come out when called. But even if that's the case, that doesn't seem too likely to me. I think it's more of a focused patrol in a high crime area kind of deal. So the pursuit lasts for a decent amount of time, and it goes out into this area by the train tracks. For some reason, I don't know what happens, maybe something with the editing software. This popped up. I thought that was kind of weird. Maybe some type of error on their part. I don't think they're obviously trying to hide anything, but something odd and wonky. So this is the body. This brand name is body worn camera. It is basically an Android phone that has special software on it that makes it a body camera. It's got Android.
Police Department.
It's got Android-based operating system on it. I want to say the company name is called Utility, and these things connect to the internet, obviously. And there's another device that can go inside the vehicle that kind of acts as a booster, as far as, you know, getting on Wi-Fi networks and everything like that within the operating area. And that system alone can be wired into the vehicle to register or recognize when the vehicle comes to an abrupt stop, when emergency equipment is activated. If the body camera is activated, it activates the car camera. If the car camera is activated, it activates the body camera. It'll also do diagnostics, so it'll keep track of mileage and when things were done, so it'll let you know if it's time for an oil change, things like that. That body-worn camera itself, it can detect if the person is laying in a horizontal plane, and that would be indicative of them laying down on the ground. And them laying down on the ground means they've been knocked to the ground, and it'll send an alert to dispatch and buzz all the stuff and get all the cavalry on the way. I want to say it also has like a quote unquote speed sensor, so like it can detect if you start running really fast, and it'll activate and send an alert. When an officer is dispatched to a call, it can link with the computer system and everything that's in that car, and as it starts getting into an area that's near that call, it'll automatically turn itself on, so the officer doesn't have to worry about turning the thing on or anything like that. So it's got some pretty cool features and functions to it, but it's big, bulky, and just kind of goofy looking, in my opinion, with it being basically a cell phone. One cool thing is its ability, if you're going to have it under a uniform, actual shirt, is it can be very well, I wouldn't say hidden, but better protected to be under the shirt, and you have this little eyelet right here that the camera sticks out of. So like one of the negative things about normal body cameras and using the magnetic mounts is if you put a magnetic mount to the front here, oftentimes those cameras get knocked off. Otherwise, you're going to have usually a tab or something sewn into the uniform to put that camera on, and even then those sewn tabs can be ripped off under enough force and you lose the camera. Other than that, you know, if you can't get anything good center line, you may have to go out the pocket, and then it could be, you know, throwing the angles off or whatever. So one plus thing to this I like is the fact that it can be hidden behind the uniform shirt, and little camera thing locks into place on that, and you're not going to knock that camera off that person if it's under their shirt. And it's a little bit more, I guess, protected, I guess you could say. Long, boring pursuit. It's nighttime, don't see a whole lot, but bright ass, flashy lights. Sometimes I think light bars are way too damn bright at night. I think they need to be toned down a little bit. All right, so and we can't see a whole lot from this footage because it's so shaky that it's just kind of a blur.
Freeze! 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 Stop, motherfucker! Stop! Freeze! Freeze! Stop it!
So he obviously could see enough that the guy was armed. It sounded like they knew from the get-go once he was getting out of the car, and for the first little bit, that the guy did have a rifle. So it could be that this guy turns a certain way. He does something that makes the officer think this guy is about to fire upon him, or the officer is falling under Tennessee versus Gardner and is using deadly physical force to stop this guy because he believes this guy poses a significant threat to himself, other officers, and the rest of the public. What exactly is going on? It's not clear. They don't state it, and it's hard to tell what's going on because the video is so blurry.
Freeze! 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 Stop, motherfucker! Stop! Get on the ground, bitch! Get on the ground!
Get on the ground, bitch. I like that. Some people complain about that kind of stuff and seem to have a big problem with it. I don't care. So, 19 years old. I would not be surprised to find out if he has some prior charges as an adult and also a juvenile. It's not like he just all of a sudden one day decided he was going to be, doing this thing that he was doing, and before that he was just a completely innocent person, was out trying to go door to door and hand out Bibles, etc. People like this, they get involved in this criminal lifestyle, and it starts at a young age. So I'm willing to bet he has a juvenile record, and unfortunately most places juvenile records are sealed and you can't look them up. But prior experience dealing with shitheads like this, I can tell you that they do have juvenile records. Most of them do, and it's almost a guarantee that he does too. I also would not be surprised to find out if he is on bond for some other crime, or if he is out on probation for something, or on parole. That seems to be kind of a recurring theme in this country. Criminals, not just regular criminals, but like serious criminals, like criminals with like violent crimes, criminals who are persistent offenders. They are giving little slaps on the wrists and are being released back out into the public, and they continue to victimize people and hurt people. A friend of mine just yesterday got into an officer-involved shooting, and the person that he was involved with has been in the criminal justice system since 1995, in and out of jails and prisons. When you look at the times that he is in and out of prison, like for the year of 1997, he had no arrests. Why? Because he was fucking in he was fucking prison. He was locked up. From like 2016 to 2021, no arrest record. Why? Because his ass was sitting in prison. There's a couple other lengths of time that he didn't have any arrests, and the only reasons for that is because he was locked up. So from 1995 until April 17, 2023, that dude was in and out of jail and prison left and right. Like, he literally, I think, spent in those years more time locked up than he did being free on the streets. And this dude, he had burglary charges, wanton endangerment charges throughout his life, domestic assaults, manufacturing methamphetamine, all kinds of shit. And our damn judges and prosecutors and damn parole boards decided that, yeah, this guy gets another chance. 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 And yesterday, this motherfucker tried to kill my friend. Tried to fucking kill my friend. Tried to kill a good person, a good officer. Had the son of a bitch been locked up in prison, what happened yesterday would not have happened. Anyway, little rant. Moving on. Oh, Kel-Tec. Alright, so this is going to be a pistol. Something similar to like an AR pistol. Obviously, it's not an AR design. It's a Kel-Tec design, but you probably find some anti-gun people out there saying this is an AR-15. These are popular types of guns now. Rifle caliber pistols. So when you look at an AR pistol, to me that's nothing more than a SBR, short-barreled rifle. I don't think there needs to be anything against the law for a short-barreled rifle. I think anyone should be able to own one. And the loophole calling, an AR pistol a pistol when realistically it's just a freaking SBR. Those things have gained popularity with the thug crowd. Used to be, it was always the Glock, right? Like you'd hear rap songs, talking about a Glock this, Glock that. You still hear Glock in the rap songs and see them in rap videos, but for the last few years has been AR and AK pistols that have been, rather popular with that crowd. And because it's an emerging kind of trend out there, an emerging weapon that is now becoming more commonly found, I predict that in the next decade we're going to see a huge change in how armor manufacturers are developing armor for police. So right now the standard armor for police is level 3A, and level 3A has basically been the standard since like the 1980s, 70s, I guess. And level 3A stops your common handgun threats, and it can also stop 12 gauge buck and slug. It will not stop rifle. It has no ability to stop rifle cartridge whatsoever. But it'll stop 9, 40, 45, 357, 44 mag, etc. Which, when you think about, the history of law enforcement and stuff, going back, the 60s, 70s, 80s, all that, those were the most common kind of things that you would find criminals carrying on the streets. And it wasn't until, I don't even know really when to pinpoint it down, because AR-15s have been around since, the 60s. Their popularity and availability, I guess you could say, or mass availability, probably didn't really come about until, I would say probably the 2000s. Because you still have AR-15s back then, but you don't start seeing these modifications to AR-15s, like having the carrying handle completely removed and it just being Picatinny rail on top, just being a flat top. You don't start seeing some of these other, modularizations going on with it until that time frame, and that's when you start seeing those systems get way smaller. Even though they were always capable of being done like that, you just didn't see that huge of a demand for it, I guess. Like a 7.5 or 8.5 AR, like nobody wanted those. I think for the longest time, the only thing that was that size was a special AR-15 M16 design that was designed to go inside the Bradley fighting vehicle, and it could be mounted to a port that from the inside of the Bradley fighting vehicle, and you could fire this M16 through that port and hit enemy personnel outside. Other than that, you had your standard carbines and everything, the commando carbines that would maybe go down to 10 or 11 inch barrel or something like that, but other than that, anything way shorter than that and compact, it just wasn't normal. So with these becoming popular, like I said, I think there's going to be a change in how armor manufacturers design their armor, because they're going to have to start working around these kind of threats now, because these are now more common threats, and level 3A armor is not going to stop this stuff. You need level 4 armor to stop that stuff. Traditionally, things to stop rifle armor have come in the form of plates. So you start with steel plates, and then it progressed to ceramic plates, and then your poly plates. But they're all a plate type of design, something that's like as big as a large textbook or something like that you basically just wear square in the middle of your chest and one on the back. Those are usually bulky and or heavy. So with your ceramic plates, they could be kind of heavy. Steel plates a lot heavier. With your poly plates, they can be a lot lighter. They can actually float, but they are like super thick, and that just to me makes like the uniform appearance and everything just look awkward when you have like this plate carrier thing and you got a poly plate in there, and this damn thing's like 2 textbooks thick, like sticking out almost, like it's just a thick ass plate. And it only covers that little portion up front and in the back. There's no, well, you can get side protection inserts, but it's not a wraparound armor that law enforcement is used to from their soft armor. So there's a company called Safe Life Defense, and they have what's called an FRAS, Flexible Rifle Armor System. It wears just like a level 3A vest. The panels are cut like it. It flexes and everything like it. You can wear it concealed. You get the full wraparound, but it is rated to stop rifle. It has ceramic tiles inside of it. It reminds me a lot of the old school, early 2000s dragon skin armor. But to my knowledge, they're the only ones right now who are producing something like that. I don't think that Point Blank or Safariland or the others are making anything like that, and I think that's going to have to inevitably change, because rifle threats are rifle cartridge threats are such a common threat now.
Scene. The weapon contained 38 rounds.
So it looks like a mixture of just regular M193 ammo, and you see some M855 in there. So these green tips, with this crowd, you'll hear them talk about green tips, all their armor piercing, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the green tip has some better penetration capabilities than just that regular 195, but it's not like it's like real deal, true, legit, armor-piercing ammunition. But that crowd, they don't know the difference. They see stuff in like the games, you know, like the Call of Duty stuff, and they're like, it's armor piercing, bruh. Just, you know, this alone, just a regular M195, that in and of itself can be armor piercing as well. It'll go straight through regular 3A vest. It'll go through cars, no problem. So there's realistically no real big difference between these two. There is a minute difference, but I mean, the rifle ballistics, or the cartridge ballistics, they're devastating. That's why I always say, if you know you're going to a gunfight, bring a rifle. Not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.